Commentator Horace Cooper for more on this. Sir, thanks for joining us. Good to have you on today. Quite an astonishing video there. One of our earlier guests described it as crazy, in fact. What do you make of it all?
Well, I blame the University of Virginia. They apparently are not communicating to all of their students that as a state institution, they're not allowed to discriminate on the basis of race. They're not allowed to have preferred racial groups. They can't have disfavored racial groups. And when they built this facility, even though they've built some other ones, when they built this facility, they needed to make sure that they were signaling to the students that this was for all of the students. There can't be facilities built on the campus with taxpayer dollars that are just for certain groups based on either gender or based on race.
So do you think this student was right to challenge people at the facility, or do you think it was a case of her moderating her language, not being so direct to avoid, offending people and causing such a scandal?
Oh, she was saying exactly what she thought the university was telling her, that it's okay to exclude people on the basis of race. This is my point. It was the university's job to make sure that when people come to UVA, they understand that the institution does not discriminate on the basis of race. The fact that this person used this facility and was able to conclude that tells you that the university isn't doing its job. It is simply not true that when she was in high school that she was told, yes, when you go up to college, there are going to be black spaces and white spaces. It is not true that the town that she lived in taught her this. It was the University of Virginia that left her with this impression, and I blame the University of Virginia for not making it clear, not just to her, but to all students, and not waiting until a video goes viral in order to clarify that that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I think the PR side of this has been handled quite badly, but just going back to the aim of this centre, it's a multicultural centre, it's there specifically to cater to people, as said in that report, marginalised groups of people, ethnic minorities. Do you think this has come from a good place? Perhaps the intentions here were good, the way it's been perhaps put out in the media, the way the student reacted is questionable, but the intentions there were good to make a situation better?
Look, if you want to have a place where people learn to be more tolerant, one of the key aims of such a place is supposed to be explaining everyone can come here and everyone is going to be tolerated. It apparently is the case that not just this center, but the university communicated that there are places that are preferred for some racial groups over other racial groups. And that is, in fact, not a marketing problem, not a language problem, but a fundamental rejection of what our country stands for. Every American is welcome regardless of their racial group, and as long as the UVA is a taxpayer-funded institution, it not only must adhere to that, it ought to be championing that.
Horace Cooper, legal commentator. Thanks for joining us, sir. Good to have you on the programme today.